Quack, quack. This is Rob Killjoy of the Ugly Ducklings, and you're listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Quack.
Exclusive breaking news, previewing and reviewing the latest shows from WWE, AEW, New Japan, and everything in between every Saturday, and interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Wednesday on YouTube and Castbox. Sponsored by Rogue Energy. Use promo code Wrestling with E for 10% off your next purchase. I am, of course, your host, that guy, James J., alongside the leader of Squash Squad, who may be here, who may not be here, Kaliko Yachts. But who is here? The American Scooter Dust.
Hello.
And it was a great day for wrestling for us as we interviewed, I interviewed Crash Jackson last week. Incredible individual, great chat. It even got a little bit into the G1 and all that good stuff. So just can't wait to see this guy come up on the Indies. Next week on the show, we got Megan Mason, the Red Right Hand, and that's a pretty interesting interview as well. No, Scooter?
Yes, especially for me personally, since she comes from my neck of the woods and where I trained. Those interviews in particular always have all our interviews are special to me, but those hit home for me just a little bit more.
And after Megan, on I believe she's the 13th of on October 20th, a Wednesday, we got Crystal Moon, the Misfit. I always love the interviews from Canada, and this one does not disappoint. And
Yes, metric system and everything.
yes, but we might be revoking her Canadian citizenship after that one. And then our very special year anniversary of our very first interview. We went big. We went Christian Robinson, our second interview ever. The first time we did a second interview with somebody. And again, we went big. This is a 3-hour interview with Christian. So you do not want to miss that.
Yeah, you're gonna want to make a pot of coffee before listening to this.
Yeah, have dinner, have lunch, maybe some dessert as well. And then on November 3rd, Ike the Bite. And now that we're done putting ourselves over, it's not a great day for wrestling as we lost Reggie Parks. If the name sounds familiar, not a wrestler, but he did design most of all of WWE's championships back in the 80s.
Yeah, yes. Parks did start out as a wrestler in 1958 for Stampede Wrestling under Stu Hart, and was actually wrestling up until 1986 before retiring from active competition. He was a referee for the WWF. After that did not last long. However, Reggie Parks is the king of belts, and he's the king of belts for a reason. He made his first belt in 1962 and has made numerous other belts that wrestling fans know throughout the entire history of pro wrestling. He is responsible for the Winged Eagle WWF Championship that we know so well, that is iconic, with Hulk Hogan and the
Even Bret Hart.
yes, the just from that '88 to all the way up until the Attitude Era. Some other belts he made as well. The WWE, the old WWF World Tag Team Champions with the big red world in the center. The classic Intercontinental Championship. Uh, the the specialized WWF Championship belt that was specifically made for Andre the Giant in 1987 and then was never used again. The
Wow.
WCW Television Championship belt for the AWA, the NWA as well. Maybe his most iconic title belt outside of pro wrestling is on the cover of the album Hard Candy from Madonna.
Really?
Yeah, she on the cover of that album, she's wearing a wrestling title with a big red M in the middle, and that was Park's design. Um, there's so much that you know, the people. There's so much about the people we don't know about in pro wrestling that we unfortunately don't know until it's too late.
Yeah.
He had his own workshop that was open to visitors. He interestingly enough, he also had a side business as a carpet cleaner.
Really?
Very interestingly enough, what he wasn't his title belts were involved in a little bit of controversy. He designed a title for the NFL's Cardinals for the leader of sacks. I'm not sure which season it was. The league looked at it as a bounty, and unfortunately, it was not presented in the same fashion. They saw it as a unfortunate that would increase the attempt to sack quarterbacks and injure them more. But the belts you see awarded to sports champions, eating contests, the 4th of July Nathan's hot dog eating contest. Joey Chestnut has a number of those belts. The Japanese guy, who I can't remember his name, he's just so much. Whenever you load up a WWE video game, you see him in that initial message. Belts courtesy of Reggie Parks and Dave Milliken, his partner. Uh, um, there's just so much, and he is truly one of the unspoken icons of pro wrestling. He was inducted into the Cauliflower Alley Club. I believe he's also in the Canadian Hall of Fame as well.
Wow.
Um,
I did not know a lot of that. And I kind of kick myself for not knowing that. And it's like you said, unfortunately, we learn a lot about these people when it's too late. And damn, um, and it seems like it's not just wrestling history. I mean, if you have a winged eagle or an old intercontinental or tag team championship replica in your house, you have a little piece of Reggie Parks. But it seems like he was more than just a part of the world of wrestling. He was a big part of all competitions. No?
Yep. He not it's not just pro wrestling history. It's pop culture history. It's sports history. It's every time you see a championship title, you'll know the name Reggie Parks.
And you maybe think we might get a Reggie Parks WWE maybe Hall of Fame or a Warrior Award or something like that?
I would think um I would think he would get an induction. I'm not sure on his what his current relationship was with the WWE um, at this current time, because I know they did switch uh, to other uh, to another designer.
Yeah, but they did WWE did release a statement on Reggie, so if there was
Um,
any animosities, and maybe it's time to drop
if he, I unfortunately I don't see him getting the Warrior Award. Um, but I do see him either as an as a flat out induction, or he's at the top of the legacy class.
All right, and of course, our thoughts and prayers go out to Fox's family and friends. Into a bit of lighter news, maybe even good news. Wow, Women of Wrestling will make its TV debut next year. Is this a big deal, Scooter?
Yes, it absolutely is a big deal. Aside from Impact Knockouts specials, there is yet to be a any sort of full time women's promotion to air on any sort of regular broadcast schedule.
I want to say Shimmer was on Access Channel before Impact came on, but don't hold me to that.
Shimmer had Shimmer did their shows in volumes, so I'm not sure if they had regulated television.
Okay, I got you. But AJ Lee was even announced as one of the executive producers. I find that very interesting, and it could lead to something else. Do you see it leading to maybe an in-ring return?
You know, I'm going to say no, because I think, and AJ has made no has made no she doesn't hide the fact that she is battling mental health issues,
Right.
bipolar. In fact, she and I have something in common. We've both done PSAs for the mental health advocacy website You Are Okay. So I would think she would probably want to stick to just being in that producer role rather than the potential, and I'm not saying it would happen, but the potential drama that could be with having a dual role.
I get what you mean. But seems like she might be dealing with drama anyway. Because Tessa Blanchard was announced as a part of the company, as a part, and kind of like the, I don't want to say face, but one of the more key people leading this company. Um, doesn't really seem like it's forgive and forget from the fans aspect. Is it a smart move to have somebody with heavy allegations on them as the poster child of your company?
Hmm. Uh, it's an interesting conundrum. Also, by the way, AJ is going to be part of the commentary team.
Interesting.
Yes. Um, I've yet to see what the inclusion of Tessa Blanchard uh, and the consequences of that will be, if there are any. Um,
Well, as of right now, she just released the new T-shirt on Pro Wrestling Tees that says nuclear, and people kind of jumped down her throat immediately.
I mean, were they saying it's pronounced nuclear? I mean, yeah, there's no forgiving, at least by wrestling fans who unfortunately don't don't see, who don't think beyond the information they are presented with.
True, but if I'm not mistaken, she never made any statement regarding the allegations on her. I don't believe there was any, admitting, non-admitting to. She kind of ghosted it. She kind of swept it underneath the rug, so to speak, which made people kind of double down on it.
Yeah.
Let's move on to something else. What what channel? Because it's the CBS Viacom is.
Yes, and that is huge. Only because they are behind Disney and Time Warner, which are actually partners now anyway. Viacom, CBS, they are essentially the second biggest television distribution group. They own the CW and the free Pluto TV platform, which will undoubtedly play a role here. Given that it's Viacom and CBS, I wouldn't be surprised if this did air on the CW. I also wouldn't be surprised if it aired on MTV or VH1.
Yeah. Or if it does air on Pluto, does that kind of cut the wings out of the momentum that they have?
Well, no, because it won't air first run on Pluto. CBS just owns that, and there's no guarantee that it will actually air on Pluto. If anything, they will
A broadcast channel.
Yeah, it will start to air on Pluto a year after they build up. My bet, and considering that they have Paramount Plus as a streaming service, and I would say, I'm going to say definitely it's either going to be the Paramount Network or it's going to be Pop TV. And
isn't that kind of what's the word? Sending them to death before they even get to trial?
No, not at all. They could actually, if they really want to make a splash, they'll put it on Showtime. Because Showtime always has MMA, kickboxing, and boxing.
But don't you want, like we talked about the NWA, and they were on YouTube, and Kaliko would always say, nobody in the world don't have YouTube. If you're not reaching for an audience where it's attainable to everybody, doesn't that kind of alienate?
Well, considering that most of these networks are now part of every cable company,
You know what I mean? Again, NWA is on Fight Channel. And I mean, honestly, since being on Fight Channel, I have not watched NWA Power. You know what I mean?
yes, but more people watch Pop TV because of Big Brother. They always aired Big Brother After Dark, which always aired after the episode would go off the air, and that would be live from the Big Brother house. And again, maybe they put it on the CW, but CW has already so much, so many shows that are already watched.
But it's getting lighter. I mean, Supergirl is ending soon. I mean, Arrow doesn't come on anymore, so the
I mean,
CW, I believe, what's it called? The one about the two brothers. That one is ending it or ended already.
yeah, Supernatural.
Supernatural.
Uh,
But they need content.
if honestly, if it was me, I would probably either air on Pop TV, uh, and then maybe do pay-per-view style events on Showtime.
Hmm.
Because if they can develop that sort of, and that's something we almost had in the 80s, and we haven't come close to it since, is that having a pay-per-view, which is not essentially a pay-per-view, but having wrestling on a premium cable channel that nearly everyone who has cable has, and it cuts out that need to sign with a pay-per-view distributor. And then they have Paramount Plus, where they can put the events on the day after. Because let's be honest, no one is going to buy a subscription to Paramount Plus just on the off chance this promotion starts doing pay-per-views.
True.
Um, and again, this is all hypothetical.
Right. What are your thoughts on maybe, because it's coming out maybe this time next year, I want to say. Why cut themselves short? Why not have the first maybe one or two episodes air on CBS?
Because I can almost guarantee you that it won't air on CBS. CBS CBS is notorious for having their television schedule planned out like to the down to the, so when wouldn't it wouldn't be
I mean,
on.
we would be getting into a whole new territory that's not wrestling related if we talked about CBS. But um, it doesn't seem like that may be the case. I mean, regular, broadcasting channel, they're hungry for content. Nobody is, if it's not, live action sports, nobody is really watching those three channels as much as they used to. I mean, there's no, the sitcom is practically dead at this point. So, they might want to try something new. But, we'll see when we kind of get there, no?
Yeah.
I think that will, well, let's talk a little bit about maybe the roster. Who do you see them kind of getting, or already have that maybe we should be looking at?
Hmm. God, who is available? Well, I wouldn't be surprised if there's some sort of deal in place with AEW. because let's not forget that at one point Viacom did own the Turner networks.
True,
Um,
but the way
and
I
then
yeah,
we've seen we've seen a secondary women's championship spring up in AEW. I I really expect AEW to share their their women's roster, and even bring in some of the indie talent that we're seeing on Dark and Dark Elevation. Um, give them a more a more concrete role, and almost like development.
do you well, obviously they're they're not going to be competition for WWE and AEW. That's like kind of out
No.
of the question right now. But do you see them being, I don't want to say a developmental talent, developmental, because they are going to be on TV. They the Viacom is gonna, they're investing in this company, so they want it to be uh what's the word? They want it to be big. I mean, again, not as big as WWE, but maybe not a developmental system where WWE and AEW is going to be plucking their talent in 6 months. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I'm technically, as far as I know, there are still. I'm not sure if these names I'm looking at are still technically connected to women of wrestling. But they had Jessica Havoc, they had Holodead, they had Malia Hosaka. At one point, they had a lot of one name uh characters as well. They had Amber O'Neil. Um,
Bullet Day. But again, that was when they were just on their own and not, um, you know, going on TV. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I think we'll continue to follow this as it kind of continues. You said it yourself. AEW announced the TBS Championship this week. What are your thoughts on that belt?
um, hmm.
I could start if you.
I mean, some could say that's bullshit. TBS. Ah ha ha ha.
Oh, ha ha ha.
Some could say it's the Big Show Championship.
Ooh, interesting.
Uh,
Yeah.
why name a title for a channel you're not on yet?
Well, they're gonna be.
Have they announced a show for TBS?
A, a Dynamite is going to TBS in January.
Wow, I mean, I haven't seen any sites reveal that news.
It was supposed to be in September, October, but now they pushed it to, I believe January.
The question is it going to start at 8:05?
Probably not. Um, I I like the idea of the TBS Championship. They didn't go the obvious route and do female tag team championships, which is honestly it's becoming kind of a parody of itself at this point. Um,
Yes.
just two girls together that's not doing shit on TV, make them a tag team, give them a belt. Uh, Not working anymore for me. So it's I kind of see this as the women's equivalent to the Intercontinental Championship. And if they kind of treat it that way, uh, it might go well. Agree? Disagree?
I just don't like the name. I just don't like the name. I think they could have thought of a better name.
You don't like total the total Big Show Championship?
Highly original, James.
Yeah, whatever. Just find it
I mean,
ironic
it could
it's the
be.
Turner Broadcast Network that's not technically owned by Turner anymore.
I mean, it could stand for the Boob Superior. I mean, I know that's very sexist. I'm sorry, women. Please don't cancel me. Um,
Let's let's end it here. It's We'll see who wins the championship when it comes to it. Now, a quick word from our sponsors.
Rogue Energy, the only gaming drink company in the world with 4 unique product lines to suit your task at hand, whether it be juices, shakes, smoothies, and everything else in between. Their low calorie, no sugar energy formula is the perfect alternative to sugar filled canned energy drinks and sodas. Their extreme formula provides the most energy, focus, and sports performance possible. Their hydration line offers focus, ingredients without the added caffeine. Drink it anytime you're thirsty. And their shake formula is so delicious. Who doesn't love a cookies and cream, 0 calorie energy milkshake? First and foremost, they've designed every Rogue product line with performance and effectiveness in mind. It is critical that you look at the nutrition panels of drinks when comparing options. There are countless off brands out there that are presenting low quality, poorly dosed formulas that amount to expensive caffeine water. Every formula they produce is designed with optimal levels of high quality ingredients. Additionally, you won't find a powdered gaming drink brand that dissolves better. No need to have chalky textures in your drink. Their taste profiles are unmatched, specifically designed for gamers, athletes, students, entrepreneurs, people with hectic schedules, individuals with low energy, podcasters who can't shut up, people who are health conscious, and so much more. Great as both a pre-workout and as a coffee energy drink replacement. Specifically designed every Rogue product line to be the best gaming drink on the planet. Rogue energy, more focus, more wins.
Use promo code WrestlingWithE for 10% off your next purchase. And we are wrestling with the WWE 2021 Draft. It was last Friday and last Monday as well. It seemed like it was slightly better from last year, where they just drew everybody on SmackDown from everyone that was previously on SmackDown was on Raw, and everyone that was on Raw was on SmackDown. How did you feel about this draft?
Uh, hmm. Eh, it's. I mean, honestly, I don't think much has changed.
Let's That's
I mean,
funny.
it's a few call ups from NXT, and I mean, yeah, let's get into it.
On Raw, it's official. Big E is drafted there. It felt like it was already official, but now it's fully official. We'll
I
talk
mean,
about them later, but the New Day just got drawn right back. Kofi and Xavier got drawn to SmackDown as well. So that was a nice little reunion while it lasted, no?
I mean, I was hoping that one show would attempt to draft all the champions and be like, nah, you can have a champion.
Isn't
Uh,
that kind of what happened when the first time around? The first draft in 2002?
uh, mm,
Kind of, sort of.
yeah, but then the World Heavyweight Championship was there 3 months later. So,
True.
um,
Next,
and
okay.
and we'll get to the New Day later here.
SmackDown Women's Champion, Becky Lynch is officially Raw now. I could guess why she was drafted, considering the Raw Women's Champion was drafted to SmackDown. No New Day, Street Profits switch as of yet.
Uh,
Um,
yes, there was.
oh, there was?
Yeah, the Street Profits are back on Raw.
No, I mean, were the Street Profits swap the belts with the New Day?
You mean a belt swap? Well, hence why this draft doesn't technically go into effect until the day after Crown Jewel.
Then that would mean Sasa would be winning the belt now.
I mean, considering that Charlotte is not scheduled for a title defense at Crown Jewel,
Which could always change. We're not, or it could just be on a random Monday Night Raw at this point.
there might be a Charlotte losing, and I I would bet maybe we'll be seeing Bailey return soon.
It's SmackDown Women's Champion, Raw Women's Champion. Why not just change the names? Where it's not specific to a brand. And then you could have Becky Lynch come as champion onto Raw and Charlotte onto SmackDown. And there's no confusion as to what title they're holding. They just brought it over from the previous brand.
Because it's the color scheme.
Then change the color scheme. Get new belts. They all suck.
If they can just exchange belts, then there's no point. The belts have to have an identity.
But they don't have an identity now. They're just all carbon copies of the WWE Championship with just different color backings.
So, are you saying women should have they shouldn't have the same looking titles as men?
But what I'm trying to say is, like, it's not like how you're phrasing it, but give it its own identity. Give it, not that it's just, even the Universal Championship is a carbon copy of the WWE Championship. They're all the same title. And, you could say, oh, it's equal to the WWE Championship, but I would just rather a different design for championship. That's all I'm really saying. But Becky Lynch is on Raw now. It kind of seemed like her stint on SmackDown was just because they needed her at that moment. What do you see her doing on Raw?
Probably feuding with Alexa.
Why, Alexa?
Well, probably. I think it would be interesting to see how Becky would fare as Alexa now.
True.
In terms of all the mind games, but we're also more than likely uh, we're gonna get Becky versus Beth.
Hmm.
Yeah, we're gonna get it.
Next, drafted was Bianca Bello. Maybe not the best place to have her, considering she kind of fluttered in her first year in WWE being on Raw. She really got going when she got on SmackDown. Do you see that being the case this time around, or do you see that there is a possibility for Belair to shine back on the red brand?
I think there is possibility for her to shine on Raw.
We got Edge is now on Raw again. Um, I was kind of back and forward. I was kind of like Edge was better on SmackDown, but Edge has done some good shit on Raw. Raw, and usually you have one guy that's either really good on one brand or really bad on the other. Um, Edge is not one of those guys, right? He just fits in wherever you put him.
Yeah, I'd say that, and let us not forget that he is the only remaining member from the very first draft 19 years ago.
Yes. Wow, that's a little sad.
Well, oh, okay, and you could technically also count Brock in there.
Brock wasn't drafted though.
Yes, he was.
Oh, Raw?
Yep.
Okay.
And
Um,
then when the title, he went right to SmackDown.
we got up next Ray and Dominic Mysterio. A little
Well,
disappointing. I would have rather them be on separate brands, but
we're
are they?
getting a father here. We're getting a second. We're getting our second ever father versus son match in the WWE.
Who was
They're
the
building
first?
to it. Vince and Shane.
Yes, that's right. That is correct. Shane Vincent. Do you think it's leading to that, or do you think that they're gonna?
Oh, it's leading to that, and it's leading to a Dominic heel turn because it seems that Ray's career is in its twilight. It could be coming to an end, and if anybody should end it, it probably he would love nothing better than to have it done by his son. It's a very passing of the torch.
There was rumored that Dominic would take up the mantle of Rey Mysterio. Do you feel that that is an appropriate, um, you know, uh, progression for him, or do you feel like it's like the new Rock and Roll Express, so to speak.
Oh, I don't think he's gonna take up the mantle of. I don't think he's going to be sticking to Dominic Mysterio. I think they may just end up calling him Dominic.
But it was
Hmm.
there was when he first came around, he was going to be Prince Mysterio. That would work, right?
No, it wouldn't. No, because one because of Finn Balor. Two, no, nobody with the name Prince in their name has ever had much success in pro wrestling.
Fair enough. Oh, a call up from NXT, Austin Theory. He was called up during the pandemic. Kind of worked, kind of didn't work. They sent him back to NXT. Now he's back. Do you see him making any type of a splash at this point? I know they already paired him with Jeff Hardy, which is kind of below Jeff Hardy's standards.
I know his finishing move is the ATL, but I think they should change it to the WTF because what the blue fuck? Out of all the fucking talent on NXT, and you, Austin Theory. Ah! This hurts my head.
Who would you draft from NXT? Because right now they're kind of on their last legs at this point in terms of talent.
I would have either called up Kyle to kind of negate, Bobby Fish in a way, or I would have gone with Pete Dunne.
Well, Kyle O'Reilly they're grooming to be the next NXT champion, so that's not happening right now.
No, they're not.
Oh yeah,
They're absolutely not grooming Kyle O'Reilly to be the next champion.
well, when it was still non 2.0, when it was just normal NXT debuts.
Burnbreaker.
Yeah. And Pete Dunne, I can make the argument that WWE don't want him because he falls under that category of quote unquote too small.
But Dunne also remained loyal to the WWE.
So did Mike Chioda, but he got fired.
Yes, but this was his contract was up for discussion almost at the same time as Adam Cole's, and they paid more attention to Pete Dunne's contract.
Yeah, and look where that got them.
I'm just hopefully Austin Theory, slips and falls in the shower and oops, can't wrestle anymore.
Well, let's hope not that severe. We got Seth Rollins, which makes sense because, his wife is on the same brand, so we need what's it called? The God of Drip?
He just has to follow where his balls are, so.
Yeah. But, this could be a really good change for Seth. I was kind of under the impression that give him a shot at Big E. Feed Big E somebody a big name that people will believe in Big E a little bit more than they already do. Do you see that happening?
No, in fact, I see that final blow-off match with Edge. 4 words. Hell in a Cell.
Oh God. Well, wait a minute. There's no Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. We did that one already.
Oh, the match is happening. The challenge was thrown down last night.
Is it going to be a crown jewel?
I don't think it will be a crown jewel.
All right.
I don't think Crown Jewel will allow that. Now next week,
Because Hulk's in the name.
um, yeah, I don't know how their rules against probably bloody matches.
We don't use blood anymore. This isn't blood and guts. It's not AEW, damn it.
Now you challenge him to a Hell in a Cell match. Don't know exactly when that's going to happen. I'm not sure. It may.
Survivor
I
Series?
don't. It may have been for next week.
TV?
Because of the World Series and the MLB playoffs, SmackDown's on FS1 next week.
You need people to watch.
Yeah. So
Another little draft pick on Raw. We got Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens was always more of a Raw guy in my view, so I see him maybe doing something good on Raw once again. Maybe turn him heel, put him against Big E.
I agree turning him heel. I wouldn't. Big E, I think, has to go through one more big name before a feud with Kevin Owens or any other heel makes sense.
Next up, we got the Street Profits. This might be a good move for them because when they got drafted last year to SmackDown, they really drowned. Raw was really where they made their name. So you see them kind of picking up that momentum that they kind of lost going to SmackDown.
No, I still think they'll pick up on the momentum, and I think again, I think they'll get bigger, and I think they'll have a ton more success.
All right. We got Finn Balor back on Raw as well.
I call that.
Hmm?
I call that.
Yeah. And I mean, it seemed like he was doing well on SmackDown, and now, nope, back on Raw.
Well, he has advanced to the semifinals of the King of the Ring, and we're getting spoiler alert as well. Sami Zayn also qualified over Rey Mysterio, so we're getting Balor versus Zayn. And we'll get to Sami Zayn when we get to it. But Finn will most likely be in the finals of the King of the Ring tournament.
Hey, well, we'll see what happens there. Next up, we got Carmella. Said nobody.
Corey Graves.
Fuck Corey Graves. Gable Stevens. Not
And
going.
everybody's like, wait, what?
I didn't even know he was signed.
Yeah, and I thought it was Stevenson.
Oh God, Stevenson.
No, it's Steveson.
Steveson.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we'll figure out what his name is when he comes on Raw. But no
I mean,
NXT for Stevens. Not even a developmental time. He's going to Raw.
I mean, this is very akin to when Mark Henry signed in '96.
Is it more Kenny or is it more Kurt Angle?
More Mark Henry because Angle wouldn't show up until 4 years after his Olympic win. 3 years.
Yeah.
Plus he was also looking at maybe CW. Plus also Angle wanted to learn properly. They wanted to rush Angle on TV. And Angle wanted to learn to do it properly.
You think they're rushing Gable?
I mean, unless he's the world's greatest magician and has managed to be spotted training at the Performance Center, I'd say this is absolutely a rush. I think what they're planning on doing is a one-off with him for now against someone in like maybe like it's like catch as catch can rules. Maybe even against Chad Gable.
Maybe possibly. I mean, Chad Gable Stevens.
Steve's son, as in son of Steve.
Steve's son. Oh, whatever.
Yeah, that's weird to the tongue.
We got Zelina Vega, Chad Gable Stevens, and why am I blanking on his name? It's not Brodus.
Otis.
Otis. There you go, Otis.
Why would? Or were you just fucking around?
No, I did not. I did not remember Otis's name.
Did you really? You were really thinking Brodus?
I mean, everybody's like an Otis at this point. It's Brodus, Bronson.
I mean, he's not teaming with Riddle yet. I mean, oh yes, put Otis with Arcade Bro. Boom, Arcade Brodus.
Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. This shit writes itself. We got Apollo Crews and a Commander a Sneeze. Liv Morgan. Mia Yim. Didn't even know Mia Yim was still there. Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode, the Dirty Dogs. Oh, my bad. Big Bob. It's Big Bob now, and DZ.
Darth.
Tamina, Tegan Knox, all drafted to Raw. Any names stick out to you, Scooter?
Um, hmm, uh, Commander a sneeze.
And now we're going to SmackDown. The first person drafted from Raw, Raw Women's Champion, Charlotte Flair. According to spoiler sheets, the Fox Network specifically requested Charlotte Flair. Rumor and innuendo, is or is it just called by WWE?
Maybe because USA was running all those freaking Car Shield commercials.
Ah,
Yeah, I don't know.
we got Drew McIntyre. And I could already see him being the guy that they say take down Roman, win the Universal Champion.
I don't.
Why do you say that?
Well, one, because Roman's already beaten Drew as champion.
But that just starts the story.
Yes, but they're doing the thing where nobody is beating Roman.
I mean, let's
And
say that The Rock does show up for WrestleMania. Do you honestly believe that The Rock is going to beat Roman for that championship? And second of all, does that just destroys your whole roster by having The Rock beat Roman Reigns and take the championship off of him? Because then you don't have a champion because you know The Rock's not going to be there. And you're depriving somebody that could have really made an impact by beating Roman.
see, that's the thing though, is that they're and they almost did this same thing with Brock until they lucked into Drew picking up so much momentum. But Drew's not going to pick up that same momentum again.
Well,
Um,
not where he is right now. They have to build it up.
see, Drew was Drew's momentum has leveled out. He's cemented at the top of the card, and now he'll always be there. But he's not gonna be the one to beat Roman. The WWE is going to book themselves into a corner. And the only possibility may end up being The Rock wins it and then forfeits it the next night or on the next SmackDown.
Then you say that Drew is just the top guy that's not going to hold a championship on SmackDown.
Basically,
All right. Hit Row was drafted from NXT. That's Dollar Top, Scott Swerve, Fab B, and Adonis Asante as
Swerve Scott, not Scott Swerve.
and according to no, I'm blanking out on her name.
B-Fab.
No, the manager goal.
B-Fab. Oh, Top Dollar?
No, the goal. The manager. That's with
The girl. B-Fab. Her name is B-Fab.
on SmackDown. Well, she's been antagonizing Naomi. Want to say it starts with a B?
Are you thinking of the woman, the female from Hit Row?
No, The one that's with Adam
Sonya
Pierce.
Deville?
Sonya Deville. Oh my God, yes. She got all of their names wrong. Deville, Sonya did not get one of their names right when she announced them.
It's it's Beeville, Dollar Swerve,
Fab,
a,
Adonis,
a, do- uh, uh, uh,
Asante, Swerve. You see
I'm
Seth Rollins
surprised.
doing anything significant on SmackDown?
I'm surprised Sonya just didn't say the Black Group.
Oh God, isn't that the New Day though?
I wasn't going to go any further with that, and you just took it to a
It's a joke. I don't mean anything by it.
ooh, the court of public opinion.
Moving on, Jeff Hardy. He's on SmackDown now.
Who
Um,
cares?
anything?
I'm sorry.
Huh?
Th- th- There's nothing left to care about with Jeff Hardy. I'm sorry. He's
Uh,
done it. I mean, He's done it all, and in spite of everything, too.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, it'll be good to see him. Maybe he, gets an intercontinental a title push. He'll never he'll never be back. He'll never go up against Roman, at least on a pay-per-view. Oh, I'm sorry, Big E. Um,
No, it's Roman. SmackDown.
yeah, he is on SmackDown. Yeah, he'll go up against Roman on a pay-per-view. Um,
I
uh,
I agree with you,
I
honestly.
yeah, and I hate to say it, but maybe it's time Jeff did actually try and
Go to AEW.
yeah.
Yeah.
But then again, maybe Jeff, maybe Jeff will just retire to the Hardy family compound and spend his days in a dilapidated boat.
When Papa Sango just honestly pops out and turns him into Willow once again. Sheamus.
Or Sheamus.
Sheamus, yes. I mean, you put him where you want him, and he'll deliver because he's
But
Sheamus.
yet he's back with Cesaro on as a singles
Well, they don't
competitor.
set the bar; they are the bar. The bar.
Alrighty,
Shayna Baszler. I'm hoping that this might skyrocket Shayna and give her something to really sink her teeth into, like she was supposed to have maybe 2 years ago, but never really got it because of the whole Becky Lynch thing.
No, the pandemic is what killed Shayna Baszler's
Right.
push. Um, and now that Ronda Rousey is never coming back, I honestly think Shayna's success was dependent on Ronda.
Who said that Ronda was never coming back?
Well, she's gonna have a kid.
She had a kid already.
Well, she's gonna have another one probably. Um, but Ronda's not coming back.
She'll come back in like 3-4 months. Down to you.
She came back last night. No, she didn't. Or did she?
Xia Li. She escaped the Dragon Lady, the 2,000-year-old Dragon Lady that committed murder, and now she's on SmackDown, traveling the world.
Just please don't stick her with Asuka if they don't know what to do with her when Asuka returns.
Yeah. Was Asuka drafted?
No, because she's out injured. So she's a free agent.
Interesting. Well, I didn't even see that she got injured. But that means she's on Raw. Well, anyway, we got the Viking Raiders next. I guess we're not going to do another anything you could do, I could do better segments with the Street Profits.
No, now we'll get it. We'll get it with the New Day.
We got Ricochet.
Ooh, I mean, see, they should have kept Sheamus and put Ricochet with him. They could have been Ricochet-mas.
Oh God. Humberto Carrillo and Angel Garza.
Humberto Carrillo had potential.
Not with that baby face he did. I mean, when he came out for his entrance, you were waiting to hear over the comms. Ma'am, did you forget your child in this arena? Rich Holland.
Again, why?
Why
him? Why him over Pete Dunne?
Because he's jacked as shit and looks good.
So is Gunnar Harland, aka Brock 2.0.
Well, that guy is on NXT now, so you get one, you give one. It's a program now. Mansoor and Mustafa Ali.
Send him to the Mustafa system on SmackDown.
I'm just glad that they got Mansoor out of Carbonite, and he's actually living his dream at this point.
Yes, but we are going to see, most likely we're going to see probably the first ever all Indian stable.
With new draftees as well, Jinder Mahal and Shanky.
Shanky. Why did they have to pronounce it that way? Shanky's gonna shank. Shanky's gonna shank.
Damn, Shanky shanks.
I mean, it's supposed to be pronounced Sean Key. After the it's not supposed to be pronounced like, oh, somebody's getting all stabby.
You shank with a shiv.
I mean, but why put? Well, okay, and I know why I put Veer. Again, another. Who is naming these people? Are they really just going to like the random gimmick generator?
I believe it's a box where you put your hand in and you pull out the ticket.
Veer also means to look, so I mean he could be their Miro.
Well, Veer is on Raw, so
Yes, Veer is on Raw. Yes.
I would put Mustafa and Mansoor with Jinder and Shanky. They're not the same in terms of their gimmicks and all that good stuff. But
I mean, like, hey, the four Vishnu.
I mean, Mansoor is just an all-around nice guy that you don't really want to boo. I mean, I keep popping for him, so we'll see what happens. All right, and that'll conclude our coverage of the WWE Draft 2021.
Uh, just a quick note. Keith Lee on Raw as
Bearcat,
well. Keith Bearcat Lee, Lashley stays on Raw. Damian Priest stays on Raw. We'll probably get Balor and Priest. Demon versus Priest. We gotta.
yeah,
Karrion Kross is officially Raw.
he's winning in life.
Yep. Chad Gable is on Raw. Yeah, so Gable Steveson.
Chad
Morrison
Gable Stevenson.
when he comes back is on Raw. T-Bar and Mace have been separated.
Oh, that's right.
Shelton Benjamin, Cedric Alexander, Jackson Riker, and the Miz is also still on Raw, along with Morrison. I thought at least one of them would have gone to
I think they have
SmackDown.
to. I believe they're going to feud after he gets kicked off Dancing with the Stars.
Also, on SmackDown, no longer King Nakamura, Rick Boogs, Drew Gulak, and Sami Zayn. Also Shotzi.
Yeah.
And Aaliyah from NXT. Funny enough,
Crickets.
nobody drafted Eva Marie.
Now she could be on both shows.
Or no show. That'd be good too.
Maybe she'll join what are they called? Toxic Pancakes? No. House of
What?
Intoxication?
Toxic Attraction.
Yes. Them.
Dude, have you eaten today?
No, I have that. But no, that seriously, just I messed that one up on purpose.
Thank God.
I mean
Or did he?
the way that Raquel blasted Joe Dolan with that belt, they need a new redhead, so
Gigi Dolan.
I said Dolan.
No, you said something before Dolan.
Raquel Gonzalez blasted Dolan with the belt. Have you eaten?
No, I could have sworn you said something like Joel Dolan. I'm like, wait a minute. That's not a guy.
Good night, everybody.
Either way, they put together a great stable of wrestlers who have porn star names. So
That'll conclude our coverage of the WWE Draft. The G1's still in full swing. We'll talk all about that next week on the show when we have people that know what the G1 is. I'm looking at you, Scooter.
oh, I know what the G1 is. I've been keeping track.
How dare you? Until then, please like,
Okay.
subscribe. Huh?
David Seville.
What'd you say?
I said, okay, David Seville.
David Seville?
You know, the guy who runs the Chipmunks.
Oh, I thought you were calling me the male version of Sonya Deville. Oh, whatever. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment, both on YouTube and Castbox. Join us this Wednesday as we interview Megan Mason. Of course, this was sponsored by Rogue Energy. Use promo code WRESTLINGWITHE for 10% off your next purchase. Follow the show at Wrestling with E, both on Twitter and Instagram. And follow us individually as well. I'm at JamesJ993. Follow Kaliko at I am Kaliko. And where can we find Scooter Dust?
As always, find me on Twitter at Scooter Dust, and along, of course, the remix coming to you with Crown Jewel in just under 2 weeks. Me and James bringing you all the action on a great time to watch wrestling Thursday afternoon. And also catch me with the Smoking Dragons, Enrico Constantino Jr., twitch.tv/Smoking Dragons.
For Kaliko Yacht Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling with
Pronunciation.
Fuck you. Entertainment.
Damn right.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.